Okay, shall we start now? I think otherwise you will be late only. Uh, so again, good morning to all of you. Uh, so sir has explained very well about the multiplication algorithm. So that is one of the important part for our data part design. Okay, whenever you go for a data part design, then actually multiplier is one of the important component. Now I am coming back to the another important component of this particular module that I would like to start from today, and probably we would discuss it more in our tomorrow's lecture also, that regarding FPGA. So probably many of you have heard this word FPGA. Okay, that is a field programmable gate array. Now, when we come up with our any digital design, whether you go for any HDL, whether you go for a Verilog, maybe you can go for a VHDL or any designing style. Maybe sometimes people used to go with the schematic. From the schematic also there is a way that you can generate your Verilog code. Even there are some tool there in which you can write down your C code. Then that C code can be also converted into your HDL code. So once you have your HDL code, then probably you need to actually convert this code into the synthesizable code. Okay. So what I mean by synthesizable code, that there are some syntax when you go for a Verilog also, then there are some syntax that will not be synthesized, that we are writing in for only for a simulation purpose. Okay, like a delay. So delay is a something that is a non-synthesizable, but still we would like to write it down to introduce some delay when we go for some sort of verification. So for a verification, usually we want a delay. So once you have a synthesizable code, then that synthesizable code you can convert into your .bit file. That also we will see. That is the file through which you can implement on FPGA. And once you're designing on FPGA, then it will work according to whatever is being written by you. Okay. So suppose I have developed a 1-bit adder, then my FPGA hardware will work as a 1-bit adder. Okay. So this way it will work. Now come back to our today's agenda, that what we would like to cover. So today I will start with some basics about the PLD, where we talk about the CPLD. Okay, so CPLD is, you can consider that it is equivalent to your FPGA kind, which is a programmable logic time, but it is having some limited support of the gate count. That means some sort of basic design you can implement on the CPLD. Okay, but mainly people are now using FPGA only, but still that is also one of the part of the family that we will discuss. Now before starting with the FPGA, we should understand what I mean by PLD. Okay, PLD stands for programmable logic device. FPGA is a one of the member of a PLD family. Now there is another term which is we used to define is a ASIC, which is application specific integrated circuit. So application specific integrated circuit means that a one particular chip is providing some dedicated functionality. Okay, so in our second year, many of you have used that famous 74XX series IC. Okay, 7486 is maybe for a XOR gate, 7400 is for another gate. So all these IC we can term as a ASIC. Okay, because whenever you use this particular IC, you will have a fixed functionality which is being associated with that particular IC. So 7486, if I use today, maybe 2 days later, or maybe after maybe years also, then it will give you the same functionality. Okay, so that is a fixed functionality IC that we termed as a ASIC. So that is basically designed for a specific functionality, and all the time we will get those functionality only from those IC. So that is a ASIC. Now there is another term which is a PLD. Now PLD is a programmable logic device. Now what is the concept of the programmable logic device is I will program that particular hardware according to my functionality. Okay. So the idea is maybe today I am interested in for a XOR gate from that particular hardware. It may happen that tomorrow I would like to go for a NAND gate. Maybe day after tomorrow I would like to go for a OR gate. Similarly, I would go for some complex design. Let's say that 4-bit adder, 16-bit ALU. So all this, whatever I can design, and if that code is synthesizable, then I can load it into the FPGA or any other PLD. Okay. Now it is a chip to manufacture that contain relatively large amount of logic circuitry with a structure which are not fixed, which you can modify according to your functionality. So such kind of chips are there in that is well in market in 1970, that are the PLD. Now what are the those families? PROM, PLA, PAL, CPLD, and most popular one is last one, FPGA. Now what is the advantage of the PLD? Now why the PLDs are more popular? Okay, for academic purpose, probably we would like to go for a PLD because maybe means I would go for some lab session, or maybe I would go for some sort of design where I want some sort of flexibility. Okay, so flexibility means that I want to ensure that if at all any error is there, then I can actually modify it, and again I can implement on a hardware. Okay, so verification, we have seen that verification is important, but role of the verification is more important when you go for a ASIC. So for a ASIC, once the chip is being fabricated, then if it is not providing you a desired functionality, then it is of no use. It is just a throwaway piece for you. Okay, if it is not being designed for that particular functionality. So for a ASIC, verification is very important, because if you have done a verification properly, then there is more chances that you can have a proper functionality from a ASIC. That probably for a IC we are defining as a yield. Okay, so that is more important. But for a PLD, I can have some sort of flexibility. Okay, maybe if after implementing on a hardware, if I observe that this is not working correctly, I can again go back to my design. I can correct my code. I can synthesize it, and I can implement on a PLD. So there is always a flexibility. We can also have a ease of design changes. Okay, once I come to know that there is some mistake, so I can again go back to and I can change it. There is no ASIC risk spin. Okay, now what do you mean by risk spin risk? That for a ASIC, what happens that for a ASIC, there are number of steps that we need to follow. Probably you can go back and just observe that there are specific flow that we need to follow for a go for a ASIC design or FPGA, where we first go for a designing, then we will go for a functional verification, then maybe we can go for a synthesis, then maybe we will go for a post synthesis verification. Okay, then we go for a placement and route. Then after that we can go for a post layout simulation. Okay, so all this time we are doing a simulation. Now, if at all any bug is there, and if it can observe at the later part of my cycle, then what I need to do it? For a ASIC case, again I need to start it from the scratch. Okay, if your bug is being detected at the time of the testing, then whatever the efforts that you have put for a designing and verification, that all goes of no use. Okay, so your efforts cost all matters. So in a case of PLD, so they are very flexible. Okay, if you observe any problem, then you can again go back and change it. So there is less, you can consider the efforts as well as costs that is being associated. So that is, in a PLD, there is no such kind of risk spin which is there in your ASIC. So in a risk spin, once you get some bug at a particular moment, you need to start it back again from a scratch only. But for a PLD, there is no such kind of case. So easy and faster design implementation, of course, that is important, and very important is shorter time to market. Okay. So that means once I come up with some idea or some specification, then I would like which should be available as a product to a market. Now I will follow that particular part through which I will get the less time as well as less efforts. So this PLD is a solution for that which can help you to come in the market very quickly through the validation of your concept. Now, the types of the PLD that we have is a SPLD. SPLD is a simple programmable logic device. CPLD is a complex programmable logic device, and FPGA. Okay. So simple programmable logic device are a logic device where you have a fixed kind of AND OR structure. Then we have a CPLD, and the latest one is FPGA. I have put ASIC also, but please ensure that this ASIC is not a programmable. Okay. So now what is SPLD and what is FPGA? So SPLD is the most basic and least expensive form of a programmable logic device. Okay. So if you reduce the complex, if you go for that SPLD to FPGA, of course your capability of the programming would increase, but at the same time it is against the cost. Cost is also increased. Now when it is a SPLD, SPLD can still support some basic and least expensive form of programmable logic. So it has some logic gates, some interconnects, and some flip-flop. Okay, that also we will see that what is the meaning of this. That is there in a FPGA also, but that is in a some different level. Now, when I talk about the FPGA, then FPGA has a millions of gate. It is fast and reprogrammable because there are various EDE tools are available. That tools will help you to actually convert your design into your .bit file. Okay, so they are also very easy to operate. So that is always helps you to come to increase your design cycle or improve your design cycle. So many things can be done in parallel. So of course this is an advantage of the HDL that can help us into to achieve some real-time application. Gate level programming is also can be done through HDL. Now, what is the basic of the PLD? That is a SPLD family. So now when we talk about the SPLD family, then there are three kind of SPLD families are there. Now, they depends upon how much programmability that you have in terms of the AND and OR array. So if I have a fixed AND array and programmable OR array, okay, then I consider that is a PROM kind of PLD. Okay, where you have a array of AND gates are fixed and you have a OR gate which is programmable. Now I will just come to I will just let you know that what I mean by programmability. Okay, but here the fixed and programmable OR. Similarly, in a PAL we have a both programmable. Sorry, in a PAL we have a programmable and fixed OR. Okay, so that is a reverse case of PROM, where here I have a programmable and I have a fixed OR. While in a PLA, I have a both programmable. Okay, so now how this can help you? Now, if I talk about the PAL, okay, so PAL, what is PAL? I have programmable and I have a fixed OR. So now if you observe this diagram, okay, so in this diagram, you can observe over here, there are some AND gate and there are some OR gates. So if you observe over here, that these are my there are some these are some my AND gate and these are my OR gate. Okay. Now, if you look at, let's move from output to input. So outputs are F1, F2, F3, F4. Those are the functions. Now, if you look at that, output is being generated from my OR gate. Okay, so these all are OR gate. Now, this OR gate is having an input that is from an AND gate. Okay, so this OR gate input is the output of my AND gate. And if you see at the input of your AND gate, then there is some point, you can consider the crossbar. Okay, so this actually suggests the programmability. Okay, so whenever there is an intersection of your horizontal and vertical line, so that particular point, actually you can provide the fusing. Fusing, that means you can connect those points and you can get the desired functionality. Okay, so these are the very important. Okay, now let's try to understand this, why it is a PAL. So PAL is a programmable and fixed OR. So if you observe that here you have programmable AND. Okay, so that means such kind of switching matrix where I can do some sort of fusing, that is at the input of the AND gate, but that is not at the input of my OR gate. यहाँ पे तो ये AND gate से directly ही जा रहा है. So output of a AND gate is directly connected to OR gate. So there is no programmability over here at this particular point. Okay. So as there is a no programmability, I can consider this structure is fixed. Where there is a programmability, I can have a point of fusing. Okay. So at the input of the AND gate, there is a programmability possibility. So this is a PAL gate where I can have a programmable and fixed OR. Now we will see this with one example, how you can actually implement this. Okay. Now this is just to show an example that how you can implement a particular Boolean expression from a PAL logic. Okay. So if you observe that this is a similar structure what we discussed in our previous slide, that over here we have a OR gate and then we have a AND gate, output of the AND gate which is going to the input of the OR gate, where there is a no such kind of you can consider the programmability. The programmability is possible at the input of the AND gate, where there is a intersection point, that horizontal and vertical line are intersecting with each other. Now if you look at our basic function, that suppose I want to implement this, W is equal to A, B, C dash, A dash, B dash, C dash. Your X is something, your Y is something, Z is something. Now if you look at this all function, then you can consider that this all function is nothing but my input of A, B, C, D. Okay, so all functions are of A, B, C, D. That is a 4 input. So these 4 inputs, I have put it like a vertical line. So vertical lines are simply my input. Just consider that A, B, C, D, 4 are the input. Now for this input, as we are talking about the Boolean, so for a Boolean, what could be possibility where A is 1 or A is 0? So A is 0, then I can define it as a dash. If A is 1, I can define it as a 1. So A dash, B dash, C dash, D dash is available. Of course, there is a possibility that whatever the output is generated, that also I can make it to have some sort of programmability. Consider for a present case, just forget about this. Try to observe this A dash, B dash, C dash, and D dash. Okay, so this portion. Now, if you observe it over here, that A, B, C dash. So that means I need to take A. So for this W, for a W, what are these? There are two to SOP. So this is basically sum of product that we are defining, and each product term we are defining as a min term. So these two min terms are there for my SOP form. So if you observe that the first min term is A, B, C dash. So how I can generate? I can fuse this point which is for A, and I can fuse this point which is for B, and I can fuse this point which is for C dash. So here input of my AND gate is A, B, C dash. Okay. Similarly, what is my second min term? A dash, B dash, C, D dash. So here it is my A dash, here it is my B dash, here it is my C, here it is my D dash. So here once I fuse this, then I will get A dash, B dash, C, D dash over here. And this will go to the AND gate, and from an AND gate you will get this particular term at the output, here at the output. Now these two will be OR, and your W will be A, B, C dash plus A dash, B dash, C, D dash. Okay. Now go back to your second term, X equal to A plus B, C, D. Now you can simply observe that this is my A. So here at the output of the AND gate is A. Here B, C, D. So here B, C, D. Here you will get the B, C, D. So here you will get the A plus B, C, D. That is my X. Similarly, Y, Z you can implement. Now, interestingly, if you see a Z, okay, so concentrate on Z. So Z is A, B, C dash plus A dash, B dash, C, D dash plus A, C dash, D dash plus A dash, B dash, C dash, D. So Z is having a 4 min term. But if you observe that the 2 min terms are same, which is there for W. So instead of generating this again, what I can do? I can use this W. Now in order to do that, the W is taken out over here. Okay. So this is here. If you observe that the W is taken out. How this W is taken out? This W is taken out. W, W dash. So what I can do here, I can use simply W. So this W is nothing but this. This is my W, and these are the remaining two terms. This is A dash, B dash, C dash, D. And this is my A, C dash, D dash, D. So this is A, C dash, D dash, and this is A dash, B dash, C dash, D. So this way you can generate your output. Okay. So this is very easy. Okay. So ultimately means whatever the min term, that min term you need to generate. The output of the AND gate is your min term, and your output of your OR gate is your whole expression, which is we are defining as a SOP form. So this way you can implement any Boolean expression with the help of PL. Okay. Now we will move ahead with the next one. Now there is a PLA logic. Okay. So there were 3 logic. One is a PROM. So PROM is having a programmable OR and fix AND. Second is programmable and fix OR, that we have seen in your PAL. And then the third one where both are programmable. That means you have a programmable AND as well as a programmable OR. Now if you try to look at this particular structure, which is a PLA. Okay. So here we have a OR gate. Here we have a AND gate. Now if you see, observe as an input of your OR gate, at that time is also there is having some sort of intersection point. Okay. So this portion is programmable. Similarly, at the input of the AND gate, also you will find out the intersection of your horizontal and vertical line. So this is also programmable. So these both are programmable. That means input of your OR gate is also programmable. Input of your AND gate is also programmable. That means you have an array of AND and OR, both are programmable. That is your PLA. Now, if you want to implement any Boolean expression using with the help of the PLA, then you can do it you need to apply the similar concept. So here probably what you are interested to first generate the all min term. You need to generate all min term for all your functionality. So you need to identify for F1 and F2 all min term. So you will generate all min terms one by one. So A, B dash is a one min term, AC is another one, A dash, B, C, AC, BC. So all this, AC is repeating. So the only 4 min term is there. So 4 min term I need to generate. So according to this logic. So this bar suggests that this is A bar, this is A, this is B bar, this is B, this is C bar, this is C. So as this F1 and F2 having a 3 variable, so this both are a function of ABC only. So I have taken ABC in your original form and a complement form. So that means for a Boolean it is a 1 and 0 for both cases, that for a particular single variable. For all 3 variable both cases, then total 6 such kind of scenario that we have considered. Now A, B dash. So here this is my A, this is my B dash. So here it is A, B dash. Similarly AC. So for AC you can see that this is A, this is C. So here AC. So this way you will generate all min term. Now from this min term which is applicable for F1 and F2 that I am programming. So if you observe that this is my F1 and this is my F2. So okay. So for F1 if you observe that this A, B dash, AC and A dash, B dash, C. So this again I have fused it to get the output for F1, and similarly here you just observe AC and BC that is being there and that is being generated as a F2. Okay. Now there is some interesting thing you can observe over here. Okay. So what is the use of this? For F1 and F2? Yes, can anyone tell me why I have used this XOR gate at the output? So F1 and F2, here there is some output, okay, and then I am using this gate. Yes, anyone can think why I am using this? What is the role of this OR gate? Sorry, XOR gate. Okay, Sanket is come up with something. Yes, Sanket, you are right. So ultimately, whenever I use for a XOR gate, okay, for a XOR gate 0 or 1, then it will ensure that you will get the original form or a complement form. So just what is the XOR gate truth table? What is the XOR gate truth table? So in a XOR gate truth table, what I can write it down? So 1 1 0 1 0 1. Okay, just try to observe that what is the XOR gate truth table. So XOR gate truth table, if you follow, then you observe that whenever you have a one value, okay, so in XOR gate 2 input. So if I consider input 1 and input 2, when input 2 is 0, then your output is input 1 only. And when your input 2 is 1, and then your output is complement of input 1. Okay, so just try to observe this scenario, and that you can get it by putting a XOR gate value input 0 and 1 to get the original value and a complement value. So here if you observe that for F2, you want actually complement value. So as I said that I put the second input 1. So that means whatever is there over here at the second input of F, here it is a complement 1. If I put here for a F1, if you observe that for F1 it is a 0. So that means F1 is in original form and F2 is in complement form. So that's why the second input is 0 and 1 accordingly. I hope you are following me. Okay, now we have seen all three SPLD family. Okay, that is a simple programmable logic design family where I have a some sort of AND or array structure. Okay, actually the PROM example I have not covered, but I think that you can do it. It is a if you understand the PAL, then probably the PROM is exactly the same. Okay, so only thing is SOP POS structure that your PAL is basically SOP structure implementation possible. Then your PROM that POS implementation can support. Okay. Now the third one is a PAL where actually you have a board programmable. Now the question is which of the SPLD you consider is the most useful. Okay. The question is either PROM, PAL or PLA. Which one is of most useful? What is your say? So somebody is giving the answer. Shruti is giving, Manjunath is giving. Okay. So mostly all of you are giving a PLA. And probably the reason could be is because both are programmable. Okay. So what I believe that all those who are suggesting PLA, then they are suggesting both are programmable. Okay. So I'm not giving you the answer right now. Probably I will give you the answer after 2 minutes. What is the correct one? Okay. Now just move ahead with the one more family, CPLD, which you can consider is a just a elder brother of a SPLD. So after SPLD, the CPLD has been evolved. Now, if you consider a CPLD, then full form of the CPLD is a complex programmable logic design. Okay. Now here also you can have it is a PLD family programmable logic design, but you can have some sort of complex design. Okay. So complex design, it can be supported by a PLD. Now, if you observe the approach, whatever we discuss, ठीक है, अभी ये PAL में ही देखो तो PAL में अभी थोड़ा कॉम्प्लेक्स स्ट्रक्चर रख रहा है जब मेरे पास एटमोस्ट 4 वेरिएबल है. Now consider if it is a 10 variable and maybe you have a 100 plus min term, then if you need to generate it like this, or if you just make a connection like this, then certainly it would be difficult. Okay. So as the input of the design increase as well as the min terms or maybe max term. So it is vice versa. For the SOP, it is a min term. For the POS, it is a max term. If it would increase, then probably it would be difficult for you to just implement with the your PAL or PLA. Now, just to help you your course, there is another family which is a CPLD, which is you can, as I said, that elder brother of your SPLD, where you have some sort of lowest cost. It is faster time to market. It has some reduced PCB area, and it also help you to do some simple design changes or easy implementation for your complex design. Okay. So when I say a complex design, then you need to consider that you have so many input and you have so many min max terms in your design. And if for that I need to implement it, then probably whatever the SPLD family that we have discussed will not help. Now, if you observe it, that this is a CPLD structure. Okay. Now I am coming back to whatever the answer that I have imposed, that out of 3, which one is a good one? Okay. So PROM, PAL and PLA. So many of you have given the answer PLA. Okay. Many of you have given the answer PLA. Almost all that Abhishek, Shruti, Manjunath, Nandini, and another one Ilaxi. I think probably you can write down your name so that I can understand it. is the PLA. Okay. Then I am thinking about the development of CPLD. And whatever the block that I should replicate in my architecture, then it should be PLA. But here, if you observe in a CPLD, what they have followed? They have used the PL, not PLA. Okay. So out of three, they have choose PLA to implement in a CPLD where it can support some sort of complex design. Okay. Now, probably if you think about the programmability point of view, you all are correct. I am not denying you because your PLA is having a programming. So ultimately, I would like to have a more and more flexibility. And when I say a programmability is more, then I can consider the flexibility is also more. Okay. So that is true. Okay. So PLA is having that. But whether the question is whether it is really required. Okay. So the question that I am imposing is whether your PLA is really required. Can I get any Boolean expression implementation with the help of PAL or maybe PROM? Okay, where only one programmability is there. Out of and or, only one programmability is there. Where in PLA I have both programmability. Now the question that I am asking is whether I need a programmability at both the time or maybe in a one programmability would help me to do all digital implementation. So I am just going back to this particular slide. Okay, now if I adopt this kind of architecture, okay, so can I implement all the Boolean expression with the help of this structure? Yes, I know. I want your answer. Whether this structure, whatever is being there of PL, whether it would help me to implement all the Boolean expression. Probably it would be. It would be. Okay. If you observe that it is supporting a SOP form. Okay, when I say a PL, it is supporting SOP form. Now, probably if I am not having a SOP form, then it could be a POS form. Then there is a way that I can convert into the SOP form. So if you just observe in a next slide, see here F2. Actually, if I consider a F2 function, then F2 is in POS form because it is dash AS plus BS whole dash. Okay, if I open up this bracket and if I apply the De Morgan's law, then it is probably A dash plus C dash into B dash plus C dash. Okay, now of course, if I have any POS, then I can get the complement. I can apply the De Morgan's law and I can get the SOP form. So if it is in POF, then also I can define in terms of the SOP. Okay, am I right? So actually, I don't want or I may not require a programmability on the both the time. Maybe not at the end or not both. एंड और दोनों के लिए नहीं चाहिए. एंड के लिए है जो मेरे पीएल स्ट्रक्चर में है. That is good enough for me. Okay. Now, when I say a more programmability, then what is the drawback for that? I need to provide a fusing. Okay. So ultimately, when I say programmability, so see over here, is whenever I am providing a cross at an intersection point, then that is a programmability. Okay. Now, more and more intersection point, that means more and more programmability. But at that time, I need to consume also more energy. Okay. So usually I also need to take. Yes. Yes. Anybody is having doubt? Hello? Okay. So means ultimately what happens that if I have a boat programmable which is there in a PLA structure, then I need to consume lots of energy in order to do the fusing. Okay. But in a PAL with the one programmability, I can achieve everything. And also the energy means less programmability. That means less energy you need to consume. And with that also I can get the everything. Then why to go for a PAL where I have a both programmability? Here more energy. So of course I need to also consider in terms of the energy. So if I consider a PL, then it is something a PL, then it is something which is giving me all the things which is required for a digital circuit implementation at the same time with the less energy consumption. Then probably I would like to stick with the PL. Now there may be a question कि सर अगर एक ही प्रोग्रामेबिलिटी करना है then why not PROM? PROM में भी एक ही प्रोग्रामेबिलिटी है, ठीक है, but PROM ultimately would help you to implement the POS form. Now generally if you look at the Boolean expression, then we would like to define in SOP form, because what SOP suggests? SOP suggests that when the outcome is 1. Okay, so usually in a, if you look at your real world, then usually you would like to get the information about the positive scenario, which I consider as a SOP, where the outcome is 1. Okay, so usually when I ask somebody about the result, then I will ask that whether you pass or fail, or whether you pass or not. Okay, I will not ask that whether you fail or not. The meaning of outcome for both, if somebody give the answer, but usually thing with the SOP form, and this PAL is helping me for where less number of in a, not any other. Okay, so here if you observe this, then you have so many PAL block to support the complex logic. Okay, so it may happen that your design, your one particular PAL block is having a, let's say that 4 input support, but if your where two PAL block is having a 4+4 and third block, so increasing, then your PAL block can be more. That means they are एक PAL ब्लॉक में 4 इनपुट का सपोर्ट है, तो दूसरे कोई एक CPLD फैमिली है, तो उसमें जो भी आपका प्रोग्रामेबल लॉजिक ब्लॉक होगा, जो हम मान रहे हैं कि PAL ब्लॉक, something easy to fabricate. Oh, so more programmable block which I define as a PAL block. PAL block that means a programmable block जिसमें आपका डिजिटल डिजाइन रहेगा, ठीक है. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट यू हैव इंटरकनेक्शन वायर. इंटरकनेक्शन वायर का रोल क्या है कि आपके PAL ब्लॉक को भी कनेक्ट करेगा और आपके PAL ब्लॉक तो वो इनपुट आपके PAL ब्लॉक में जाएगा, उसका आउटपुट जो आएगा वो आपका आउटपुट पोर्ट में भी जा सकता है, और कई बार आपकी डिजाइन कॉम्प्लेक्स हो तो एट दैट टाइम यू मे रिक्वायर मोर देन वन PAL ब्लॉक. ओके, तो PAL ब्लॉक के बीच में भी इंटरकनेक्शन चाहिए और पाल ब्लॉक का आउटसाइड द वर्ल्ड, दैट मीन्स इनपुट एंड आउटपुट आई एम कंसिडरिंग द आउटसाइड द वर्ल्ड इंटरफेस, उसके साथ भी इंटरकनेक्शन चाहिए। तो आपके सीपीएलडी स्ट्रक्चर में तीन चीज है। ओके, एक तो आउटसाइड वर्ल्ड के साथ इंटरफेस करने के लिए इनपुट आउटपुट ब्लॉक, अनदर वे इज टू implement your digital logic, you have a programmable block which is a PAL block, and to interact among the PAL block as well as the input output, you have an interconnection. So three things are there in your CPLD family: interconnection, PAL block, and an input output. Okay, now what are the advantage of your CPLD? So it is a simplified design process. I have already discussed. It is something you can have a low cost of structure because it is some sort of uniform. The disadvantage is that it is low to moderate and still the architecture is inflexible. Okay, still it is an AND or structure. So with this, the number of gate count, whatever I can achieve, that is very limited. Still it is a array. ठीक है, मेरा एंड और एरे था वो तो है ही, क्योंकि ये जो स्ट्रक्चर है उसके अंदर तो एंड ठीक है. सो विथ सच काइंड ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर प्रोबेबली whatever the amount of the complexity of the digital design that I can achieve, that is also limited. कि आप ऐसे CPLD बनाओगे, इसके CPLD में भी कितने पाल ब्लॉक डाल दोगे, ठीक है. So the number of PAL block that you can put it in a particular CPLD, that is also having some sort of maximum limit. And with that, if I have some sort of fixed number of PAL block, and with that, the number of digital logic that I can implement on the CPLD is also limited one. ठीक है. So to overcome this, we have one more logic family which is very popular, and that I would like to focus exhaustively, that is FPGA. Okay, now probably I will start the FPGA tomorrow because anyhow maybe I think we have only 5-10 minutes left. So, and I committed you to complete actually at 12:45. So probably I would like to stop at this particular point where we have discussed up to the CPLD. Tomorrow when we will meet, definitely we would like to go with the FPGA. Now what is there in FPGA and how FPGA is supporting a complex logic? That is the answer that we need to find it out, and that you will find out in my tomorrow class. And we talk about the SPLD, PROM, PAL, PLA, and then we started about the CPLD, and then we move forward for a FPGA. So I am stopping with this. Now, if you have any doubt, then I would be happy to answer you. Okay, thank you. That means no question. Yes. You can raise your hand also if you have. Okay, so if you have no doubt, then probably we can stop for today, or maybe I am getting some. So what are the disadvantage of the CPLD? Okay. As I said that in a CPLD, even though you put a PAL block, okay, then there is a fixed number of PAL block that you can have, and one per फिक्स नंबर ऑफ इनपुट सेट. व्हाट आई मीन बाय फिक्स नंबर ऑफ इनपुट सेट, जो मैंने आपके पाल ब्लॉक के स्ट्रक्चर में दिखाया था कि अगर मेरा 4 इनपुट है तो ए min term which can have a 4 input. Okay, so maybe with that, whatever the support that I can have for some sort of digital design, that is also limited. Okay, so with the CPLD, if I consider, usually the digital design is, the complexity of the digital design is identified in for a PLD in terms of the gate count. ओके, तो पीएलडी के लिए यूजुअली हम बोलते हैं कि उसका कितने गेट काउंट का सपोर्ट है। तो ये जो आपका सीपीएलडी है, वो सीपीएलडी आपका 5K और 10K, दैट मीन्स 5000 और 10,000 गेट तक का सपोर्ट कर सकता है। सो विद दैट द नंबर ऑफ फंक्शनैलिटी दैट यू कैन implement with the CPLD are limited. Surprisingly, for a FPGA, it is now, you can consider it is now a 50 lakh or maybe it is more than 50 lakh. Okay, so FPGA can support a gate count which is 50 lakh or more than 50 lakh. But if your gate count is limited to 10,000, then still CPLD is good enough. But if your gate count is increasing, then there is a problem. Now, as a designer, it is very difficult for me to identify a number of gate count priorly. Okay, usually when would you know the gate count? Of course, if I have some simple design, let's say 1-bit adder or maybe 8-bit adder, for that probably means there won't be any issue. Okay, that gate count is limited and then you can implement on a CPLD. But if I want to go for a design of, let's say, 32-bit microprocessor, then probably you need to think about that whether the CPLD family would help you or not. Okay, because at that time the gate count may be crossing 10K, then your CPLD won't help. So at that time you need to go for FPGA. Okay, so that's why FPGA is more popular. Okay, because prior to the design, okay, sometimes I don't have any knowledge about the gate count, what it could be. So better to go for a device which has a larger number of gate count. So even though after designing, my gate count is crossing 10K limit, then I can go for that implementation. Okay. I hope I have given you the answer, Jyotsna. So gate count is a limitation for a CPLD. Okay. So if there is no more question, then we are end up our session for today. Thank you for your patience for